Hi, Sagittarius. It's our birthday month. Where's our reading? Where's our reading? What about us? Where's our reading? The sun is in my 12th house, which also happens to be Scorpio, so I'm kind of screwed. And everything is moving into my 12th house. I'm bugging out. Where's my reading? Hi. It's your reading. I saw it. I saw it. It's fine. Let's let that go. Let's go on. So, here we are. Why until now? Why not? Taurus full moon was necessary. Sun in Scorpio. When the light is shining on your 12th house, there's not really anything that I can do or say that's going to help you through pulling those old bandages off. You have to do it. You've been going through it. I know you've been going through it. Well aware. But not a process that I can in any way help you with. And I can't hold your hand, and you're not the type that wants anyone to hold your hand. So, like, we're stuck then? It's not that you're stuck. It's just that your 12th house is fixed energy. You know, Scorpios do get stuck. They get in the muck of feeling some type of way, or not being able to forget what somebody did, or not being able to move on to a new way of looking at someone or a situation or a job, whatever it may be. Fixed energy. To have fixed energy in your 12th house of the subconscious is difficult. It can make you feel emotionally stuck. Scorpios often feel emotionally stuck. Like they're in the maelstrom of something and can't get out. The whirlpool of something and can't get out. Now you have this feeling of being overtaken by your past, overtaken by that which rests deep in the back of your heart, mind, soul, that which is not, it's too murky, it's too icky to have all this sunlight shining on it. And then to have your secretive stuff in a secretive sign, the most subconscious sign being Scorpio is your house of subconscious. That's a lot of secretive stuff. Often that will give Sag the appearance of not being able to be known, unattainable. I think this is what gives Sag men their mystery and their appeal to women, because I think women like a challenge, because it feeds their ego, and because Sag men are so obviously unavailable emotionally, it makes them a huge challenge. Women who acquire Sag men have like this timeline that they go through where they get like really happy and really gassed that they were able to secure the prize, so to speak. And then they have a period of like the kind of honeymoon period where the Sag man makes you feel like you're the only man and you're the only woman in the world. Or, you know, the other way around, the Sag woman makes a man feel like, you know, he's the only man in the world. And then slowly but surely you realize that this person is much more distant than you thought. And that you don't really know, even when they've given themselves over to you, the mystery is not going away. The distance is not closing the way you thought, whoa, it would. That's a lot of cards. All right, let's look at them together. We've been shuffling long enough. So we have the Hangman already. 9 of Cups. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Hey, at least it's in reverse, right? We've been looking at it for a while, but at least now it's in reverse. 5 of Wands. Hey, can you... no, it's okay. I think she's snoring. I can hear it. It's okay. Sorry about that. All right, so 5 of Wands, 7 of Cups, the Strength card, Justice, Two of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, 2 of Swords, Knight of Wands, King of Cups, 8 of Swords, Knight of Cups. All right, so let's get the obvious stuff out of the way, Sag. If you're dealing, Sagittarius, with a Leo or a Libra, or obviously a water sign, here coming up as a Pisces, most definitely. But could be any water sign. If you are dealing with any of this type of person, let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. The confusion has reached all-time high levels. There's a lot of confusion around here. A lot of confusion. I think the confusion is being made worse by the plethora of choices, but also this past influence coming in because of the spotlight on your subconscious, the past issues, the stuck feelings, the road you've been traveling, the little bit that's left before Saturn leaves in December, all of it. It's, for some reason, now the light is shining on it again. You know, it's like parallel parking a car, backward, forward, until it's just right. And you may feel in some ways trampled over by this back and forth. The confusion does breed conflict. The conflict can be brought on by fears of money. The fears of money being brought on by what you think you should have and where you think you should be and what and how much you need to have to feel comfortable. And so here you are now, with all this tucked away in your subconscious, then the light is shining on it. Bringing to light what? Bringing to light things that look really confusing and scary now. Things that are built expectation upon expectation, the way Sagittarius likes to do. I'm like this and I expect this for myself. And if this happens, then this has to happen. And keep going, keep going. But here is this confusion that's set in. And I can see how it's a lot of confusion. I get it. And the confusion is, whenever there's light shining on our deepest secrets, on our darkest places, whenever there's a lot of emphasis in those areas, it can be cathartic and then harmonious. But you got to get through the cathartic part before you can get to the harmonious. Part of how you get to the harmony is that you become decisive. There's a lot of indecision here. Opportunities being presented, people being around, people and messages of love being presented, and yet indecision, fear, conflict, fear, ego, fear. A great prospect in and of itself, a great prospect as well. Yes. But wrapped up, Sagittarius, in your fear. Now let's look at the major arcana like the road signs that they are. Our navigation system, if you will. Strength, justice. Why? Because Sag, whenever you stray from these things, the slope is so slippery to unjust, disloyal, inauthentic behavior and weakness. You can exhibit both of those things very easily if you let yourself slide. And I think a lot of this reading is about, Sag, how much are you going to let yourself slide? You see, the planets that's been trying to teach you the rules on how to live right so you can have a firm foundational experience and move forward in a steady way, that aggressive, hyper strict parent is leaving. And it's a bit unnerving to see what is left in its wake. You would think that when Saturn leaves, everything would be like, oh, great. Saturn organized everything, got rid of all the gunk. Perfect. Now we move forward like a machine. That would make the most sense, right? But that's not what's happening at all. See, because Saturn can't stay on your back 24/7 and its influence isn't exerted that way. It doesn't work that way. When it leaves, if you have not learned the lessons you need to learn, it's not going to take that personal. You're just going to have to wait. And when it starts to leave, you're going to have to wait until the next time it comes around. And when it leaves, like I said, it doesn't leave everything super hyper organized. It leaves you in this kind of, PTSD state of shock of like, whoa, what have I just lived through? What have I just been through? I've re-examined everything and everyone. I've come to so many conclusions, and some of them might very well be that I'm weak and not very just and unjust. Right? You're being asked now to look at everything around you and see yourself and where your misgivings are in the scheme of the larger thing. Because the opportunities are being overlooked because of fear, because of indecision, which is also based in fear, and conflict is also based in fear. This kind of poverty concern also based in fear. You see, she's not afraid. Remember Leo card, lion? What did the lion need? Courage. She's not afraid. It's showing you. All this that's going on, it's because you're afraid. You don't need to be afraid. You don't. Not even when you're shutting a lion's mouth. But you do need to follow the rules. And not just the rules that are bendable enough that you can slightly break them and put them back together again, Sag. You need to follow the universal truths, the universal laws of how you treat people and how you don't. Because I think of a lot of this confusion that's going on for you, although of course for some of you it may be very romantic in nature. I think this is more an ideological thing. I think this is something you're just thinking about in terms of you now. What am I really like? A lot of times I feel like Sagittarians can be so external that what am I like can be kind of a moot point. Well, I just know how I am. I shoot the arrow at the thing. I shoot the arrow at the thing. I know. And it's like, okay, but if you're shooting the arrow at the thing and then where is all this coming from? You see, you can't have it both ways. You can't need people to guide you, which everyone does, but at the same time be like, no, I know the way, I know all the things. It's like, no, you don't. It's actually to the point where you don't know the things at all, and it's overwhelming you, and you're getting scared. You don't know all the things. I know you would like to sometimes pretend to, and I get that defense mechanism, and it makes a lot of sense to me, but it's just so obvious if you look at these cards. Everything that's going on around you is some way tied in to this fear. It's making everything around you kind of indecisive because your fear is, contagious. Yeah. But it's masked with so much bravado, That's also what the Strength and Justice card and the Magician bottom of the deck is about. It's masked with so much ease and grace and bravado and strength and all these things that you can kind of miss the fact that in a Sagittarian's periphery, there's all this messiness going on. Now, if you have a Leo and Libra in your life who are not taking it anymore from you, Sagittarius, I feel like you have a decision to make. No, it's not an easy decision to make, but it's coming up again and again. Just decide. Just decide. Just pick one. At this point, right? That's what it's kind of saying. Like, you can't have it all. You can't do this. You can't do this and still have all the stuff. You have to pick one. And so now we come to the outcome cards. So as you move through this month, this will play out. You will begin the month feeling all the things that you thought you were over, like the car backing up over the same thing over and over again, hitting the same bump over and over again, whatever it is, hitting yourself, bruising yourself and then hitting yourself in that same spot over and over again. You will feel all that and be like, why? I just dealt with this. Why? I'm feeling better. Why is the sun shining in my 12th house? Oh, I hate you, Scorpio. Why do I feel like such fixed energy right now? Why could I just mess somebody up for no reason? All that. You're going to go through it. And then when that reaches its fever-pitched crescendo of conflict and feeling bad and feeling anxious, because that's what the sun shining in your 12th can feel like a lot of the time if you're not channeling energy very creatively and you're being very, very honest with yourself. It will lead to this kind of confusion where you see good things coming, you see big things coming, but you can't really see yourself in them. They start to take on this villainous, almost scary quality. And so towards the middle of the month, you'll find yourself wrestling with these two energies, either as people or as ideas in your own head or as behaviors that you're taking part in. You'll have to realize that this is the direct opposition to this. You can be super scared and everything can look really scary, or you can be the woman who holds the lion's mouth shut. Right? Now, weighing something out, the Justice card, Libra, is very indecisive. Weighing something out, very indecisive, very indecisive. Sagittarius, I don't think you should be pushing anybody right now to be with you or commit more to you. I think you need to hold off. And if that's not what it is, and if it's something completely different that you're being really, really indecisive about, it's because there's a good reason. You may not want to admit that to yourself because that's a little hokey and hippie, but you can feel it. You know what happens when you can feel something and you don't act on it? You start feeling like this all the time. And why the Knight of Cups? Because any of these people that are around you, Sagittarius, they're going to diminish themselves to keep being in your presence. These are all just games that they're playing to get your attention, or these are parts of you that want your attention. Again, same difference. That diminished view of society will come back to you when you're feeling like this, especially towards the end of the month. Yeah, I know, that sounds weird, right? Because it's going to be your birthday. But December leaving and it being your season, you have so many choices, and I can just see so many opportunities, so many choices, so many chances to choose the wrong thing. But Sagittarius, you're actually getting to choose. It's been a long time since you had this kind of power. Don't get stuck in the minutia of it. Pick or end up here. November is going to try you. Towards the end of the month, you will feel like being less indecisive. You will be confronted with an opportunity that will be really great. The indecision will come back in as if like an insecurity has taken hold of you again. And you will have to work your Sagittarian magic here on yourself and pick yourself back up, hopefully with a water sign by your side by then, who can just walk you through in those moments where you can't walk yourself through, where you just can't make a decision or commit. Commit is a better way to say it. Commit. Excuse me. So the last part of the month does see you beginning to understand why it's necessary. You see why I didn't want to do this reading yet? Because it's like you're in this holding pattern where Scorpio's really running your 12th house through the ringer over and over and over again. And it's only towards the end of the month that that's actually going to start to die down and you could do something. So I wasn't really worried about getting that message out because it's not that much of a message. But hopefully you can see from the way the cards are falling that it's not just you who is feeling this way. And sometimes all a Sagittarian needs is to not feel alone because they can feel so alone, that distance, right? So it's not you that's feeling this way. It's a lot of you. All right. And now this look was created by Michelle Singh using the Pat McGrath palettes. Mothership, I think we used Mothership 1. I'm not sure. I'll tag it. And we did a McGrath lipstick on the lips. Amazing. We're doing holiday looks for all the signs, so just stuff we feel like you could wear to like Thanksgiving or Christmas or, New Year's. Doing the looks last month, especially the Sag look, which I just kind of did and was so annoyed with the way with what was going on, and then it was all reflected in the reading. You guys responded to it so well. You guys totally got where I was coming from. It was such a burden off my soul that you totally got what I was trying to say and didn't take it wrong and didn't, misconstrue what I meant or feel like you didn't get your whole reading or anything like that. It was awesome. You guys were totally into it. So I just had so much fun doing those looks that I felt like we should just keep going and doing looks because it's fun and I love working with makeup artists and I love having, that collaborative experience. So here we are, we're doing these looks. And it is going to be towards the end of the month, your birthday season. You obviously deserve a look. But also I think the reason I liked this, the reason I was drawn to this one for, the whole time we've been doing the look, it's oh my God, it's such a Sag look, it's such a Sag. Because there is an elemental kind of, savagery to you guys. You have that kind of war paint thing, just like we did last month. And there's always that edge with you guys. An arrow is sharp or else it will not work. It will not hit its target. So to reflect that, we really kind of played with these, you know, sharp lines. Sorry, my camera froze. In that, the lesson being that when you have all these arrows to shoot and you start to see that your life is kind of starting to quake with the amount of like sharpness you're throwing around, it's time to pull back into that softness. It's time to find that softness. I think that's why it's water heavy at the end, and I think it's why you're surrounded by swords. There is such a cry here to bring the softness back. And like I said, 2.5 years of a very, very strict parent, of course you want some softness, some, you know, comfort, some comfort. Your comfort will come at the expense of your crazy, though. You're going to have to let go of the crazy for the comfort. You're going to have to, maybe if the arrows can't be less sharp, maybe they just need to stay in your quiver more and not be out at all. At least for a little while. At least long enough to recoup from what has been happening and be okay with Saturn leaving and say, oh, okay, I did it. I got through it. Good. Now, you know, you need that. All right? So give up your crazy for your comfort. All right, you guys. I love you. I will see you in December. Yes, you will be first. Yeah. I'll see you in December.